Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to see everybody here. I want to start the day on a pretty interactive note. Just by show of hands, how many people here have seen a mountain lion in the wild? Wow, we've got a lot of lucky people. So I am not one of those lucky people. I've never seen a mountain lion. I'm going to talk to a few of you after this to fix this, especially Neil. Um, but a couple of weeks ago, I was hiking up in Marin County, and this bobcat popped out on the trail. And it was really, really a special moment. It was just walking down, and it kind of stopped for a bit. It looked into the tall grass, and it pounced, probably hunting for some sort of rodent, and then it scampered off. My family and I were just in awe of this moment. There we were, two species, well, probably many other species we were less focused on, but those two species, a bobcat and us, coexisting. And it was a very, very deep, special moment that we enjoyed that we didn't expect at all. And so today we intend to take all of you on a journey that will kind of walk us through the story of coexistence that humanity has done from the dawn of time, as we've migrated across the world, further and further into wild places. We've learned to coexist with wildlife, and that's really important. I'm Collomb, the Chief Executive Officer for the Wildlife Conservation Network, and on behalf of all the conservationists that we have the privilege of working with and the entire team at WCN, I want to welcome you to this very special day, the Wildlife Expo, which I think is the next best thing besides seeing wildlife directly in the field. I think also it's really special to have the opportunity to do so just a few days before Earth Days, because there's no greater way to celebrate Earth Day, this only Earth that we have, with all of its living species, its landscapes, its fantastic and fascinating ecosystem functions that we're all codependent on, and that really I think our well-being is dependent ultimately on the planet's well-being. And so we're going to celebrate Earth Day in a few days, and we're starting early by being here at the Expo. Our mission at WCN is to protect animals by supporting conservationists who ensure that wildlife and people coexist and thrive. At WCN, we believe that real change comes from working with communities through a community-led conservation approach, because the people who are on the front line of conservation really know best what's needed to adapt and to be successful in the dynamic environment in which they work. And so we invest in that change through any number of angles and lenses. We invest in local conservation organizations, our network of partners. We have 25 conservation partners and growing. We invest in local rising wildlife leaders, leaders at different points in their career. That's 217 individuals to date. And when appropriate, we leverage the collective impact of conservation projects throughout the world, trying to reverse the decline of species in crisis across the entire range through our wildlife funds. These wildlife funds have granted over $100 million to over 900 projects so far and counting. And throughout all this, we really believe in collaboration. We believe in working together, because core to all of this success is making sure that we connect with one another, making sure that we connect you. We connect your passion to the passion of the wildlife conservationists we work with, so that these conservation entrepreneurs have all the tools that they need so that they can achieve their mission better and faster by having the resources they need to succeed. We offer you guidance and peace of mind on your philanthropic investments, because we are transparent and we put you directly in touch with these conservationists so that you can talk to them and you can have a direct sense of how your dollars are having an impact in the field. And so that level of direct and access is really core to how we work. And your generosity has been fantastic. We are deeply appreciative of all the trust and generosity that you've put into WCN. As you know, we guarantee that 100% of the funds that you designate for particular projects will make it to that project in the field. And over the past 22 years, your generosity has contributed over $350 million for conservation through WCN. So thank you so much. As I'm going through my thanks and gratitude, I want to extend our appreciation to the Wilson Sonsini Foundation, who's been supportive of this Expo. If any of you are interested also in supporting the Expo by yourself or through your company, feel free to see us afterwards. And I also want to extend a big thank you to our entire WCN team. The lights are pretty bright, so I can't quite see, but if anybody from WCN is in the room, if they could stand up for a quick round of applause. a handful of them. We wouldn't be able to do this work without them. If you picked up who they are, they're also there to help you and help answer any questions, so feel free to go to them, and we'll try to make sure that you have an extraordinary day. Back to today. Today really is designed so that we foster these connections. We want to take a really inspiring journey with you, a journey across the world, from Africa, across the seas, into Asia, and into Latin America. You're going to be inspired by stories from these conservationists, sharing lessons of coexisting with nature, sharing lessons of coexisting between wildlife and people, so that we can map out this future together. I believe that that future is possible because we're seeing successes all along the way. But it's not just going to happen on stage. So we're going to have lots of people here on stage, but the day is really built to foster connections, and we want you to take advantage of that. So right outside the auditorium, we've built breaks into the schedule. We've got booths. Please go do some shopping. Please go talk to the conservationists so that you can find out their work. There are probably some people you already know. Go talk to them, but also don't be shy and meet some of the new people. This is really important. I mean, this access, this connection, this relationship is core to our values at WCN. And we have a community that's fantastic. You may not all know each other, but I know that you all share at least one thing in common, and that's a passion for wildlife and a passion for a world where people and wildlife can coexist and thrive. So don't be shy. We're going to have 11 organizations presenting on stage, but we're actually going to have 18 organizations present here today, and about, 35, 40-ish conservationists. So they can't all give a presentation, but I want to invite them on stage quickly. I'm not going to give them the mic. I'm just going to have them come here. You could put a name and a face together, and if you see a particular species you're interested in, kind of take a mental picture of that conservationist and then go talk to them. So without further ado, we're going to get started. And first, joining us as a guest speaker from Kenya, from the Hirola Conservation Program, I'm going to ask you, by the way, to save your applause for afterwards, otherwise we won't go through all this. But first, joining us from Kenya, Dr. Abdullahi Ali and Nishad Patel. Come behind me. From Cameroon, from one of our rising wildlife leaders, Dr. Aristide Takukam Kamla and Morgane Nigon. They don't need the applause. We're going to go through quickly. Now, next up, from Save the Elephants and EcoExist, and also representing the Elephant Crisis Fund, they'll be our first speaker, Dr. Chris Dallas and Dr. Anna Songhurst. Now we're moving into our partners. From the Andean Cat Alliance, Dr. Rocio Palacios. And from the Cheetah Conservation Fund in Namibia, Brian Badger. From Conservation Through Public Health, working in Uganda, hopefully they're in the order of my slides, so I'm double-checking all this, Dr. Gladys Kalima Zikusoka and Lawrence Zikusoka. From Proyecto TT in Colombia, Rosamira Guillen. From the Grevi Zebra Trust in Kenya, Peter Lalampa and David Kimiti. From the Macaw Recovery Network in Costa Rica, Dr. Sam Williams and Jose Diaz. From Mariset in Malaysia, Dr. Luisa Panampalam. From the Misul Foundation, one of our newest partners working in Indonesia with coral reefs, Virli Urican. From the Okapi Conservation Program in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Lucas Mears and John Watkin. From Painted Dog Conservation in Zimbabwe, Peter Blinston. From Proyecto Washu, also one of our newest partners working in Ecuador, Natalia Fuentes and Felipe Alfonso Cortes. From the Small Wildcat Conservation Foundation, working all over the world, wherever there are small cats, Dr. Jim Sanderson. From the Snow Leopard Conservancy, working across a range of snow leopards, Ashley Lutz-Nelson. From Spectacle Bear Conservation, working in Peru, Alex Morey and Robin Appleton. And finally, from the California Wildlife Program, my dear colleague Neil Sharma. Please stand up. Please kind of get closer to me, get closer to the front of the stage. Give him a big round of applause. So you all can take a picture if you want to. They're quite photogenic in addition to their wonderful species. And I'm going to ask them to walk off stage as I introduce my next colleague. So maybe just walk behind me and we'll walk off stage. But thank you all for everything. We'll see you soon.